Sorry. I love Snoop Dogg. But anyway, I got another story for y'all. This might be my last. I don't know how much time we got. But I want to tell y'all a story. It's really wild. All right, here it goes. This is my favorite story. If anybody's heard this story, I want to apologize, for saying it again. It's my favorite fucking story. All right? So I was in this marriage for like 7 or 8 years, you know what I'm saying? And I got out of the marriage, and I'm on my own, right? I'm single again. So I go on tour, and I'm doing a solo tour. I'm doing a Violent J tour. Me and Shaggy often do solo tours. I'm doing a solo tour for charity, right? I'm doing a solo Violent J tour, and the money's going to charity. And we got to Cleveland, and we do the show, and there's this girl in the back of the venue, and she's holding up a phone as I'm performing. She's holding up the phone the whole time. She's not hard to miss because she got leather pants on, she got a leather outfit on, she's beautiful, and she's just holding a phone. And on our solo tours, there's not very many people there, so I can easily see her in the back of the venue, And I'm like, damn, she's hot. So in the meet and greet after the show, she comes up. I see her in the back of the line, right? Now I've seen her many, many times before with Shaggy. Once I see her at the back of the line for the meet and greet, I say to myself, Cole, I recognize this chick. She's always coming to ICP's gigs. You know what I mean? She comes up, she's got the phone, and she tells me that her it's so easy to rap. All this other shit people expect you to know how to do, no, you don't know how to do it. Rapping is fairly fucking easy. So I get on the phone with him, I'm like, hey bro, keep your stab wounds on your hands from stabbing them and shit, and your blood is all over their blood and shit. Usually they got a pretty good idea who did it. In 2023, you can't just stab somebody and get away with it. That's my thinking, right? So I just wanted to be like, fuck you, dude, you did it. Sorry, I know I'm coming off as an asshole. But
hey, you're the asshole.
I'm just keeping it real.
Not the man in prison who murdered somebody.
Come on. Oh, you're just innocent too? Now when you happen to be doing natural life in prison, but you're innocent too? Fuck you, dude, you did it. So after the concert, we're driving, I'm talking to my brother Rob. Anybody know my brother Rob? Yeah. Me and Rob are talking, and Rob's like, don't you dare say nothing to that girl, Joe. Don't you dare say anything to that girl. Those people love you. Her and her boyfriend. They love your music. Don't you dare fuck up their situation. And I'm like, Rob, I'm saying something. Because if he's doing natural life in prison, like he's never getting out, why don't he let her finance go? You know what I'm saying? Like, why take down another life with yours? No, for real. If you ain't never heard the term, if you love somebody, set them free. Like, you mean tell me you did it, you didn't, or you didn't, but you're doing natural life, and you got this fine-ass hottie over here sending her paychecks to you in your commissary. Fuck you, dude. Let her go.
Let her have sex with one of the members of the Insane Clown Posse. If you really love her.
Whatever, dude.
I'm with you, dude. 100%.
I was looking out for her, my man. So here's the deal. So my brother's like, don't you dare say anything to her, Joe. God damn it, don't you dare say anything. And I'm like, all right. So we get to the next show, which happened to be in Pittsburgh. And there she was again. So I was like, hey, I talked to him on the phone, right? She put me back on the phone with the ex-con. I mean, not the ex-con, the con. The current con. And I was like, Do you want to be pen pals or something? I didn't know what to say. What the fuck would you say? Just because you know how to rap don't mean you know what to say to a motherfucker doing natural life for murder. Neither do I. I was like, you want to be pen pals or something? I mean, I suppose you like getting letters. It's probably the shit if you're in prison, right? Getting letters is probably all you got to look forward to. So I was like, all right, you want a letter or something? And he was like, oh, that'd be the best. So then we finished the tour. We go home. We're back at the we're back at the office. And I get a letter. And it's from her, right? I open it up. And she's like, thank you so much for writing my husband. He's such a huge fan. We're such huge fans. We live our whole life for ICP. And we're so grateful you're going to be his pen pal. So then I opened his letter, which was inside of her letter. And he's like, look, I've hurt a lot of people. This is what he's telling me. I'm telling you what he's telling me. I've hurt a lot of people in my life. I've been in a racist biker gang my whole life. But I'm not like that anymore. I'm like, oh, how convenient. That's what you do in life. You ain't like that no more. After you killed how many people like that? But anyway, I was like, okay. And he's like, I'm not like that no more. Your music saved me from all of that. After I got here. Your music, I met some juggalos and your music saved me. So I'm like, well, what did you do to get here, Ninja? You know what I'm saying? Because you haven't paid your debt just yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I'm judgmental like that. So he's like, yeah, you know, I hurt a lot of people. I've been in a racist biker gang my whole life, but I'm not like that no more. And he left it vague. And that's not okay with me. I'm not just ready to forgive that quick. You know what I'm saying? Oh, so you're not like that no more, dude? We're good. You know what I'm saying? No, you've been in a racist biker gang your whole fucking life. All you've done is hurt people. Fuck you, dude. That's me, okay? According to what he was telling me, that's me. But I'm trying to be understanding, right? So then I start talking to her. Now my curiosity is peaking, and I want to know why she's with this dude, right? So I start talking to her. I remember I got to the office at 10 in the morning. I sat down in the corner chair in the studio. I started talking to her. I called her. I was like, can I talk to you? Can I ask you some questions? I'm just curious. She was like, yeah. I talked to her till 6 in the evening that night. I mean, all we were doing was kicking it. And she told me that she was married to an investment banker, and she saw his show come on, a murder show, you know, like true crime. And she said she could see in his eyeballs that he was innocent. And he has a knife tattooed down the side of his face. He's in prison for stabbing somebody. He's got a shank tattooed down the side of his face, all right? And when I watched the show, I didn't get the same feeling looking in his eyes. I got the feeling like, he did it. So I started talking to her. She's telling me about how she's trying to raise up money to get him lawyers and get him off and shit from this natural life murder, double murder. And I finally was like, look, I think I like you. I kind of like you. You know what I'm saying? I like the conversations we're having. I can't deny that I'm interested in you. She was like, well, I feel the same way, but I feel really guilty because this guy that I've been married to and faithful to, he went to jail for smoking spice in prison. He went to the hole for smoking spice, right? And she said she was really mad that he was smoking spice. Then he did it again, and he got put in the hole for 60 days this time. Then he did it a third time and got put in the hole for 90 days. Right the day before I called her, he got the 90-day spice whole sentence. I mean, I know we all smoke spice. Right? I mean, we all do that. Some of us. But if you're in prison, I'd probably be smoking it. So he goes away for 90 days, literally the day before I call her. Right? So me and her begin this romance while he's gone for 90 days. Right? And then I'm like, can I come see you? And she's like, yeah, you can come see me. I feel so incredibly guilty. My mind, I'm coming out of this affectionateless marriage, okay? So I'm all for it. I'm down. My thinking is, I would kill to be loved the way she's loving this ninja. You get what I mean? The way she's got this ninja's back. I want my back got like that. That's my thinking. So I was like, I'm coming out to Florida. I come out to Florida. She picks me up. She has a convertible. She's finer than I ever remember. Hair blowing in the wind in the convertible, right? It was just incredible. I'm with her driving. We go right back to my hotel. She's like, I can't bring you to my room, to my apartment, because that's where I talk to him, and I'll feel guilty. So we'll just go to your hotel. I'm like, okay. We go to my hotel. We hook up. It was awesome, Coke Cabana.
Did you touch her 90-day spice hole?
I came close. Almost is all I'll say. But it was wonderful for me, because I'm coming out of a 7-8 year hole, all right? So I was happy to be there. And so then we go to the movies, right? But we don't end up going to the movies. All we did was talk. We didn't even see the movie. We just talked the whole time. And then she's like, let's go back and feed my dogs, and then we'll go to your hotel again. And I'm like, feed your dogs? She has to cook. She has 2 Rottweilers. She has to cook for them. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of anybody cooking for their dogs. But she's literally frying food up for her dogs, you know? And then Rottweilers looking at me like, they want to fuck me up. You know, they know I'm not the dude supposed to be there. And I said, what happened to me coming to your apartment? I thought you felt uncomfortable. She's like, I don't care anymore. After we hooked up at the hotel, she don't care no more, right? She's sprung now. So she feeds the dogs to cook food, and then she stops at a wine store and she buys 2 bottles of wine. We go back to my hotel. And when I was at her apartment, that's what got me. Because the whole apartment, I don't even know how to explain this so y'all understand. The whole apartment was a mix between her and him and ICP. Like the walls were all painted. It was paintings of him with a knife on his face. Like him doing hard time, looking down, just looking sad. And then next to it would be like a flower where the blooms of the flower were our Joker's cards. You know what I mean? Like it was all ICP and them. The whole apartment. Like she said, this is the computer I talked to him on. Around the computer was all drawings and posters and shit. ICP and them. Like the whole love was intertwined with ICP. You know what I mean? And at her apartment when she was cooking for the dogs, I fell into a funk. Like I'm looking at that and I'm scared and I just got nervous and I got anxiety and I fell into a funk. So when we were driving to the wine store before we went back to my hotel, she's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, well, it's the whole thing about him. Yeah, I remember on the wall in her living room was a giant mural. I don't know if it was a poster, a mural, a painting or what, but it was just him. Like this, looking down, like the top of his head. And there was the bars in front. And it was the most grimmest black and white painting or mural or whatever I've ever seen in my fucking life. And I was like, that's the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. And she's like, it's my inspiration to get him out. And I was just like, damn, you have to break him out to get him out. You're gonna need a Huey and some Scud missiles to get him out. But so then we get back to the hotel, right? Now we're back at the hotel, and I'm in a funk, so I threw the pillow over my head, and I'm laying there not looking. And she's like, Joe, and I won't look, I won't pull the pillow out of my head. And then she finally like, Joe, and I looked, and she had a robe open with like her, just looking like a movie, right? Like a sexy robe with a shirt like open, and 2 bottles of champagne or something in her hand, and she's just sitting there like, and instantly the funk was gone. I was instantly down again. It just zapped me right back to reality.
That'll do it.
That'll do it. So, we commenced to doing that, right? And I'm gonna be graphic with y'all, but I'm sorry, it has to do with my story, all right? I busted a nut on her belly, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Right? And at that point, she leaned all the way over to grab a towel that was on the floor, okay? And when she leaned all the way over to grab the towel, that's when I saw her back for the first time.
Oh, shit.
Okay? And her entire back was, it looked like it was freshly done that afternoon. A tattoo of the dude's face on her entire back with the knife going down his eye. Oh my God, instant panic attack. When I saw that, instant panic attack. Quickest panic attack I've ever had in my life. When I saw that, I'm having about to have a panic attack right now. So, I don't know what I did. I think I started crying. I don't know. But it took my breath away and I couldn't breathe, you know. And I remember she was like, "Do you want me to go?" And I was like, "Yes." So she left, you know. And then I flew home. And then, of course, I'm coming out of that shitty marriage. So after like 4 or 5 days, I'm starting to reconsider everything. Like, that tattoo ain't so bad. So I told my brother Rob, I'm like, "Rob, I'll just have her put clown paint on the tattoo and it'll be me." My brother said, "You can do that, Joe, but it'll always be his eyes looking at you." That fucked me up. Because he's right. But I kept saying, well, you know what, I can get past that tattoo. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. But I kept saying, I can get past that, it ain't nothing. So then, we end up talking again, and she's gonna come over, and we're gonna try to work it out, right? And she all of a sudden calls me, and she says, "Joe, I'm so sorry. He just got out of the hole. It's been 3 months. He just got out of the hole, and he wants me to talk to him. So I'm gonna go see him, and I'm gonna tell him everything that's happened with me and you, and I'm gonna tell him what we're doing, and I'm gonna tell him that I'm not gonna be with him anymore, you know?" So I thought about all that, and I was like, all right, let that motherfucker know. He ain't gonna come kick my ass. Fuck him. What would y'all do? I thought I was in love. I'm going for mine. Come on, you can be mad at me if you want. I don't care. I was like, fuck it, tell him. The motherfucker, killer. I'm just trying to make any sense out of it, right? So she's like, all right. So then the next morning, I remember I was staying at a hotel because I was transferring from where I was living to my new house.